everyone, welcome to WIP Wednesday, where I'm going to show some progress updates on all of my works in progress for crochet. So right now my works in progress are mainly things that I started working on before the holidays, but then I made a couple of presents so I never got to finish them. So these are going to be my top priority before I start anything new. I'm going to start finishing on these. I'm going to start with this first. This I actually did start after the holidays. So this is gonna be a little elephant stuffy. I'm mainly done with the blanket. I just have one more row to do on the blanket here, and then I'm gonna move on to the head. This I did start after the holidays. My aunt just had a baby, so I'm making that for him. But yeah, I'm just following a tutorial on YouTube. I'm actually following this tutorial right here. I'll leave a link in the description as well. It's really easy to follow along. It's almost like a crochet with me, and you can almost follow stitch for stitch. For me, I like to crochet on the go, so I just watched how to build the head. This is my first time ever building any kind of stuffed animal head, so I look forward to definitely making more of these. And then the blanket is just a basic granny stitch. So yeah, I'm almost done with this. I just have one more row on the border. And then the border, and then I just have to make the ears, the trunk, and put on the eyes. Those I don't have any experience doing, so I'll definitely be following along stitch for stitch for the rest of this project. Next, so I saw this TikTok. If I could find the TikTok, I'll put it right here, and I'll put it in the link, of this girl who makes, like, she upcycles old t-shirts and makes them into ponchos. I just think it's so cool. So I wanted to make one for my mom for Christmas, which I did. I'm gonna be doing a video soon of all of the projects that I've worked on so far, and that will definitely be in there. But I was doing this one as a prototype just to make sure I kind of got the got down. So this is just a Disney shirt. It's all the Disney parks. And then I picked a color for each of the parks. So as you can see, I got the first two parks done. I started on the third, but I took a pause on this because once I figured the skill out, I wanted to make sure I finished the Christmas present first, obviously. So yeah, I'm gonna be finishing up on this. It's really fast to do too, so you know, I could finish this really quick. I did notice, not as much with the one I made for my mom, so I don't know what I did wrong with this one, but it's very like bunched in the middle, and like, I don't know if you could tell, but it's all like wrinkly, and it looks like it's because of the crochet pulling on the sides. But I definitely have plans to make more of these ponchos, so when I do that, I'll definitely show how I do that. Also, the girl I found on TikTok, she does a really good job explaining. So yeah, this is an easy project that I'll definitely finish soon. I am hoping that once I block it, that the actual t-shirt fabric will also just stretch out, but we'll see. If not, this was a prototype. It was me learning a skill and wanting to actually put it to practice before I made a present. Next is another thing I saw on TikTok. I've seen a bunch of people do it on TikTok. This is the tutorial I ended up following. I think this is the original creator of this pattern. She had it for free on her website, so I'll link that down in the description as well. So this is a triangle bag. It looks a little bit of a mess right now. This is my most close to done work in progress, but it's basically just a triangle bag. I don't know what happened, if it's just how it's meant to be, but when I folded it, the opening got a little bit mismatched, so it's not exactly even. I don't know if it's something I did wrong. I don't know if maybe my stitches were too loose or what, but this is my first time ever making a bag. So for a first time, I think it turned out pretty good. This is it inside out. Right now I'm just sewing on a canvas. I saw a TikTok that sewing on a canvas will help your crochet bags last longer because it'll be less stress on the actual material. So I'm doing that, see how that worked. I'm just gonna turn it inside out. I do have it all stitched together already. I have all the handles and the clasp and everything made. I just have to put it all together. But yeah, It's just a basic green bag. I think it's cute. I think it definitely turned out differently than I wanted. I think if I made one of these again, I would make it smaller. I just think the big one doesn't really, I don't know, this wasn't what I was expecting, but it's still a really cool pattern. I think I would make another one of these smaller. Like I said, I just think this one's a little bit too big, a little too wide. But yeah, my first time making a bag, so again, kind of like a prototype, and it's still something I'll use. I mean, even though it's not exactly the dimensions I wanted, you know, it's a learning curve, and I'll definitely still use it. My last project here is in this big tub. This I have been working on for a very long time. I kind of work on it on and off, but it's basically just a big, gigantic blanket. I will not even be able to show the full dimensions of this, but this is just the width. Let's see if we can even just, so this is the width here. Still going. And there we go. This is about as long as my couch, I want to say, and I have a sectional, and it's about as tall as my fiance, and he's 6 foot. So that was my goal for this. It's just a big, gigantic blanket. Oh no, I have to clean this. I forgot. I spilled chocolate on it once. And it's all crusty here. I'm gonna have to figure out how to clean that. I forgot that happened. I haven't worked on this in a really long time. But yeah, my goal with this was just to make a really big blanket that, you know, I could sit on the couch with my fiance and we could both be under the same blanket comfortably. He's a tall guy, so I feel like a lot of blankets come a little short on him. And also I feel like most blankets, even like a queen size blanket, just kind of like, there's not enough room on the side to like move around. So I wanted to make an extra big giant blanket that could fit both of us under it. But yeah, this, I don't even know how close to done it is. I haven't held it up in a while, but I know it's super long. I'm probably just gonna finish out this skein. I think I ended up using like 7 like big giant skeins. So yeah, I'll probably just finish out this skein, throw on the border, and that'll be that for this. And yeah, those are all my works in progress. Most of them are pretty much near completion. So I'm excited to finish those out so I could start some new projects. So now that I've finished my works in progress, I want to kind of share some ideas for some upcoming projects. So something I want to do, which you'll see in my completed works, I made like, this was honestly totally by accident, but I made kind of like this nice head scarf in a really pretty blue and a really soft fabric, which I really like. That was actually supposed to be one of these bags, but I made the dimensions way too big, and I realized that it was going to be more, I wanted it to be like a tote bag, like a long tote bag, and I realized it was going to end up being more wide than long. So I abandoned that, and luckily it was like the perfect length for a scarf. So I just kind of like pivoted, added a border, and now it's a headscarf, which I really love. I think I'm going to make another one that's a more neutral color. The one I have right now is like baby blue and navy blue, but I kind of want to make one that's more just like beige, brown, just a little bit more like matches everything. I also really want to make a cat bed. I have a cat. I'm honestly surprised that he did not show up in this video. His favorite thing in the world is whatever yarn I'm holding. I did see him like roaming about before, but I think it might be a little too early in the morning for him, so I think he went back to bed. But yeah, I want to make a cat bed for him. I think he likes the texture of crochet because he loves to like pull on anything I have finished. So I think he'll really love that. I also really want to make coasters for my house. I made some coasters for Christmas presents, and I loved them. I felt like kind of sad giving them away. So I want to make some more for my house, like more varied ones that I could like change up with all the different seasons. Oh, a project I really want to work on. This is definitely going to be a learning curve for me. I think it was on TikTok, and I bought the pattern, and it was, you know, the not Entenmann's. Oh my god, what's the brand? Okay, these cookies. with the like shapes that they have for every single holiday. I want to make those for like every single holiday for my couch. I love decorative pillows on my couch. Well, let me grab. I have my Christmas pillow. I have a ton of Halloween pillows. I just bought this for Valentine's Day. So I really want to make those cookie pillows, but I know that's going to be a lot of work and really hard. But I'm really excited to do that. I have the pattern. I just have to like, I think what I really have to learn is how to increase and decrease my stitches. That's something that I've been slowly learning how to do. In the past, I really just learned how to do like basic back and forth. This is a half double. I know this sounds so dramatic, but I only recently learned how to do like a double, which is so easy, but I just always did half doubles for everything. So yeah, I'm just branching out, learning new things. The last thing I really want to make is, so if anyone's a Swiftie, you know that Taylor Swift had her holiday merch and she released a blanket of the surprise song Piano. Unfortunately, I did not get the chance to buy it, but I feel like I could crochet it as a tapestry crochet, like into a blanket. You'll see in my projects that I've worked on that I do have a little bit of experience with tapestry crochet. So I really want to do that. I know this sounds crazy, but it looks pretty easy to me. Like you just put it in the pixel art and you just follow. So those are definitely some ideas I have. I know I have a lot more ideas. I save like at least 10 TikToks a day of like projects to work on, and it's like I can barely finish the ones I have. So yeah, that'll definitely be a journey. So every week I'll be updating you guys on the works in progress. And once I finish them, you'll be able to see it weekly on Wednesdays. Also, unfortunately for these ones, since I started making them before I started making videos, I don't really have like a process for them, but I definitely plan that as I start new projects that I'll kind of film my process. I have a really good example. My first tapestry crochet that I made, it was supposed to be a sweater, but I kind of ended up running into a time crunch where I didn't have enough time to make the arms and the front piece. So I kind of had to pivot, and that's something I definitely would have loved to document that process. So moving forward, I'll be like documenting my ideas, any roadblocks I have, just to kind of share the process, because it's not always just like straightforward. I know there's been many times where I've had to like frog things and it's so annoying and upsetting, but it happens, you know, you're making something handmade and you're putting a lot of time and effort into it, mistakes are gonna happen. So definitely look forward to that. For these 4, unfortunately, it's just kind of be like once they're done, they'll be in the weekly update, but I'm not gonna have a dedicated video to them about the process, little explanation how to do it, but I'll definitely tag for the 3, like for these 3 guys, I'll definitely tag the videos that I found on how to make them, which guided me. So if anyone's interested in making them, you could definitely do that yourself. So thanks for joining. I'm hoping by next week my bag will be all sewed together, but we'll see. But yeah, see you guys next week for our next weekly update. Thanks for watching.